been under pressure to act after an attack which killed more than 40 Indian paramilitary soldiers in the disputed Kashmir region mid-last month. A group called Jaish-e-Mohammed said it was responsible. The bombing triggered the most serious standoff between India and Pakistan in years. Well, who are these groups and who supports them? Our correspondent Imran Khan reports.
They chant, "All Kashmir will be free." This group call themselves Al-Badr-Mujahideen, the Badr Holy Warriors. Their leader is Maulana Muhammad Haroon. He's a firebrand cleric who supports armed groups across Kashmir, including Jaish-e-Mohammed. That's the group who claimed responsibility for the February 14th attack on Indian troops that sparked this latest crisis between Pakistan and India.
God willing, the fighters of Al-Badr are ready across the country and are ready to pounce on their targets and are waiting for the right time. And God willing, this year will be the liberation of the whole of Kashmir.
The anti-Indian, pro-United Kashmiri ideology is fundamental to all of the armed groups in the region. India has long maintained that these groups are directly funded and directed by Pakistan's intelligence service, the ISI. It's a charge Pakistan denies. However, the question remains, what is Pakistan doing about groups like Al-Badr-Mujahideen and Jaish-e-Mohammed?
After 2014, we have came hard on these groups, and now it's a stated policy of Pakistan that monopoly over violence will remain with the state, and no other group will be able to use that, will be allowed to have that ability to use violence for the groups. So I think we are taking steps. We have taken steps in the past also. Since 2014 we have taken steps, and I think we are moving on the right direction.
The groups are active today on both sides of the disputed border. In Indian-administered Kashmir, Hizb-ul-Mujahideen regularly mount attacks on Indian troops, yet India insists it's a domestic issue and says there's no comparison between groups on either side of the disputed border.
So the suggestion that there is some kind of equivalence between the kind of terror challenge that India is facing and what Pakistan is either dealing with internally, or India's own internal security issues which are related to the northeast, have completely, I would say, different contours and it's a different profile. So this is a case of apples and oranges in a very negative sense, because these groups have been assisted by the Pakistani state or enabled. So whether it's Jaish-e-Mohammed or Lashkar, you cannot compare them with what is happening with groups in India, because they are being sustained and they are the strategic assets of the Pakistani army.
There are many in Kashmir who say that the Indian army is occupying Kashmir and that the groups are a direct consequence of that. India says it's there for security reasons. Meanwhile, it's armed groups in Pakistan that seem to be garnering the most attention. The issue of armed groups and who supports them is a thorny one in Pakistan. Now, the Pakistani authorities say they are cracking down on these armed groups, but it's clear that they are in the spotlight right now. Pakistan has made an announcement that it's cracking down on the armed groups. However, that might not be enough for India, who demand the arrest of the group's leaders. But questions remain as to whether even those arrests will reduce the tensions between the two nuclear-armed neighbours. Imran Khan, Al Jazeera, Muzaffarabad.